All right, our next guest has gone from the house that built in living color to the haunted halls of Scary Movie. He's gone undercover as a white chick, and now he's telling us about this new story, The Mind of Him. This man has done it all: a comedy wild child, an award-winning actor, a writer, a producer, and one of the most fearless performers on stage today. Let's welcome to the show Marlon Wayans, who looks like he's working on those bags under his eyis this morning. Looking good, Marlon.
That's called bourbon. I'm getting the bourbon out of my eyes.
Oh,
I have a cigar company, Liga Tridente, and I was here having cigars with my good friend October London, and we was talking last night. He was just up here, and we was just talking business, thinking about doing a tour together, and yeah, so I went a little too heavy with them Liga Tridentes and that bourbon, and now I got to get I had to get up early and do radio. Thank God it's radio, so you can't see. Well, you probably could see my eyes right now. Damn.
Yeah,
okay.
I was thinking that maybe that was the paint for white chicks, that, we were just getting started.
I kept it on. I removed everything else except for this. No, I'm not doing White Chicks 2 yet, but we are doing Scary Movie 6.
That's awesome. When did you first realize, when you were in this house of 10, that this family was not normal? How old were you when you picked up on, man, our family's a little different. We move different around here.
I think when my older brother did crack, and we found it funny.
That's when you knew it was out of control. How do you being the youngest of 10, I believe, how do you become the louder, funnier one? How did you get noticed as the little guy in the house?
For me, I think because I had to be the loudest and the craziest, I had to be different in order to get the attention, because there's 9 other people fighting for that attention. So the reason why I call my tour the Wild Child Tour, because I'm definitely my mother's wildest child. And it's because I'm the youngest. And in being the youngest, I can't do what they did. I have to do something different. My voice got to be different, or I'm not going to be seen. And so, I think that was all. It's always a gift, never a curse.
You mentioned your mom, Elvira. She was known for, I know, keeping that family very grounded. What was a saying or a lesson that you got from your mom that you kind of still hear echoing in your head today?
When I fight with my brother, my mother used to make a, now, don't you do that. Now, y'all, come here. Y'all kiss in the mouth. And so I think about that. And when I want to fight my brothers, I just think, do I really want to kiss them in the mouth? No, because Sean's breath is weird. So I always honor my mother and my father and keep my family together, because I know that it was their priority, and I got to be their pulse. Even though they're gone, they're still with me, and I got to make sure that I keep my family together.
You basically grew up in the Wayans School of Comedy, and your professors were Damon and Kian. They were running the class. What were some of those syllabus items that really helped you graduate from that little brother to being the headliner you are now on this new comedy tour, the Wild Child Tour?
That it's all about the work and nothing else. It's not about the celebration. It's about the work. It's not about winning the championships. It's about going to practice every day just because you love the game, and stay there as long as you can. And they told me you got to be an unstoppable force of nature. If you're going to make it in this industry as a Black man, you have to work your behind off. You have to be unstoppable, no matter what they throw at you, no matter what obstacles come your way. If one door closes, you got 1,000 others open. If those doors aren't open, you got to look at a blank wall and kick a hole through it. And that's what I've done my whole career. I've not stopped working because of those lessons my brothers taught me. And be fearless. The audience don't know what they want, so don't let them judge you. You go out there and you crack your jokes, and they like it, great. If not, here's the next one.
Don't be afraid to fail, pretty much, is what you're saying.
I love failure. Sometimes when it gets awkward in that room, like, oh my God, did you just say that? I find that to be my favorite moments.
We're with the comedy icon right now, Marlon Wayans. He's currently on his Wild Child Tour. It's coming to New York, Staten Island, Kingston, also Charlotte, North Carolina. It's going to be in Florida this spring, plus a lot more cities, man. You're booked up all the way through next fall. MarlonWayans.com, right? That's where you can get tickets.
Yes, sir.
At your website. Outside of comedy, when you were a kid, what were you into? Sports, art, music? What was the Wayans family? Were they rooting for a specific team? Were you guys all into different teams? Were you not into sports?
We are all into different teams. Some of us on the sports. I've always been a Steeler fan. I gave up on the Giants and the Jets years ago. unfortunately. But I should have stayed with the Giants. But the Jets, I did the right thing. They have not won a championship since I was born. Same thing with the Knicks. I gave up on the Knicks at birth because they haven't won a championship since 1972. Now, I don't have a team. I'm just a Laker hater, right? So there's I don't know how many teams in basketball, 38, 40, something like that. I love every other team except for the Lakers. But I'm finding it a lonely place to just be a hater. So I think I'm going to come home and be a Knicks fan again because I feel like we could do it.
I
Something
know
about
that.
Brunson's braids reek of like Rikers Island, and I just believe that he has the grit and the grunt inside that the nappy cornrows to bring us home some hardware.
I know with your comedy, Marlon, you're like an equal opportunity offender. You say you hate the
Always.
Lakers. I know you ran into my boy Shaq, and you've had a few jokes about him, but he can really take a joke. I know that about the big fella.
That funny as hell. He is so funny, and he lets you make fun of him. And he actually, I've done his podcast. We friends, so he's like, you could talk about me. I thank God he texted because I don't want to understand a word he says in real life.
You got to get the
What?
Shaq decoder if you want to find out what the fuck he's saying.
You understand one word, Kobe.
Now, what about the joke you had with Magic? I know you had some really good jokes with Magic. Have you ever run into anybody that you have offended that maybe didn't take it so well, or has everybody's pretty good with comedy, right? No, nobody's came at you, right?
Macy Gray chased me around the stage of the 2000 MTV Awards. She was
And that
so
was real.
mad. Yeah, she was so mad because I did a sketch. I tried to curl my hair, and you remember this song? She said, I tried to roll it down,
Yeah.
yeah. And I did one about how she tried to comb her hair, that crazy ass afro. And at the end, I was like, "It's a shame when you go down there." And I showed her pubic hairs, and it was just a really big red bush. She was so
Oh
mad at me,
man,
and I just kept
hilarious.
running backstage. So Shopper Ranks wasn't too happy when I did Mr. Ugly Man, but some people actually like it. I don't think Magic is going to be too mad. Who didn't have a Magic Johnson joke? You know what I mean? So
The financial aids is that one gets me every time. If you want
yeah,
to
that's a
hear some
wild one.
if you want to hear some laughs, everybody could use a laugh right now. Go to marlonwayans.com, get your tickets to go see him coming up this holiday season and on into next year. Also, I'm excited about this Scary Movie 6. I know
Oh yeah.
whenever the Wayans brothers get to work, good things happen on screen. You guys have evolved as writers, as directors, as performers. How has the collaboration changed with the way you guys used to work back in the days to the way you work now, or is it the same formula?
It's the same formula, but it's kind of like slightly different. I think Sean and I have a lot more influence than we used to. My big brother, he was the big brother at the time, and we're developed artists, and now we have three different great minds working together, and we're not in the incubator anymore. And so Sean and I, actually can deliver the project, and Keenan can kind of just shepherd and Godfather and be a part of it without having to do the legwork like he used to. So Sean and I were grown, capable men, and Scary Movie 6 is a really funny, crazy movie. And I think the world needs this kind of laugh. So I can't
And
wait
that's
for June 12th, 2026, this summer. Y'all gonna have a big, crazy movie to come laugh at.
we can't wait for that. And in your new film, Him, this really shows a different side of you, Marlon. Dark, dramatic, very layered role. What pulled you towards that project? How did this challenge you as well as an actor?
My parents died, and I had all this pain inside of me and all this darkness inside of me, and God gifted me this wonderful role that Jordan in a Jordan Peele movie, produced movie that with a great director Justin Tipping, and allowed me to pour all my pain into this role and all my darkness into this role, so I could clear up all the dark in me and find the light. Because right after him, I'm doing Scary Movie 6. So what's crazy is, the fact that I can do both those movies in 1 year is just insane. But I'm a crazy man. So what do you do with crazy people? Let all their personalities shine. So yeah. And then it's crazy. I did that, a dark movie like him, I'm doing Scary Movie 6. I'm doing the Wild Child tour, and then I have this really fun Snipes commercial that I did. If you could check my Instagram at Marlon Wayans, and it's just a great commercial. It's fun. It's fantastic. It's fantasy, and it's about fashion and sneakers. It's crazy.
Find out more, go to marlonwayans.com. Before I let you go, we want to just kind of get to know the Wayans brothers a little more. You're like America's family. First, I'll ask you, who is the best cook out of the Wayans clan?
We all can cook, but I would say Kim. Actually, no. I have all my sisters can throw down. Like my sister Kim, what I like about Kim is Kim will not only cook really well, and she may never give you her recipes, but she cleans up after herself. Now, my sister Elvira she can cook, but man, she can mess up a house. You'd be like, how did flour and chicken get on my ceiling? I don't know how she cooks. So,
who's the funniest out of the Wayans crew in real life? You know, when you guys are around, who is the one that's quick-witted, that can get a laugh when they're not really trying?
My mother.
Nice.
Even though she's gone, we all have this sense of humor because of my mother. My mother was hilarious.
Now, when you're out to eat with the Wayans and the check hits the table, who suddenly all of a sudden is like, I got to go to the restroom? Like who?
John.
Sean?
John, he don't like when you say he's cheap. And that's what makes him cheap, is that he get offended when you call him cheap.
Oh, okay.
Well, then it's an excuse why I ain't never treating again. Well, you never treated before.
Who's the first to grab the check? Keenan?
Me.
You? Okay. Well, hopefully we get to go out to dinner sometime. If you had to be stranded,
if you had to be stranded on a desert island, Damon is actually the most generous.
Is he? And I've had him on the show before.
I'm joking. Nice. When you was like, yeah, we're gonna go out to dinner, I was like, oh no, Damon, you want to go to dinner?
If you're stranded on a desert island with one of the Wayans brothers, and you only had to pick one, like who's the survivor that is going to kill something and make you survive this desert island?
Keenan. Because Keenan's just like he's been a survivor, and he know how to make something out of nothing. He did his whole career, and then he understood how to make something out of nothing, and then teach us how to make something out of nothing.
Well, I appreciate your time today, Marlon. Can't thank you enough. You've made us laugh for decades. You make us think, and now with him, you're showing the world a whole new deep dive into your range. Much respect. Get your tickets at marlonwayans.com. Peace out, brother. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you, brother.
Later.
Peace, man.
Download it wherever you get your podcasts.